In today's lecture of computer networks, we will cover web servers and URL. Let us see first what are web servers. A web server is a computer that stores websites on internet and delivers web pages to viewers upon request. It is also known as www server. Web servers are generally programs or softwares that wait for requests from web browsers. For example, Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Safari, etc. And some web servers are Apache, IIS, NetSite, etc. The full form of IIS is Internet Information Services. See this image at the top. It is showing communication between a web browser and web server. So whenever you start a browser like Google Chrome, you type an address or URL of a particular website. For example, www.vdjs.co.in, and then you press enter. As soon as you press enter, your browser gets connected to a server and requests a page like home page of that website. If that page is available in a web server, then the server machine sends back the requested web page, and you can see the output of that web page in the same browser. Now let us see the difference between a common server and a web server. In general, server is simply a machine which provides services to its clients. Common services like printer sharing, sharing of memory, sharing of softwares, etc. Whereas web server is dedicated for serving web pages only. So let us see here, this screenshot has been taken from your book. A server is a computer or device on a network that manages network resources. A server serves requests mainly related to resources on the network, such as for sharing a resource like printer or sharing storage, etc. So there are many different types of servers like file server or a mail server or a web server, etc. So this is a server in common. Now web server is a particular or specific server only for web services. Web servers are computers that deliver web pages. In technical terms, we can say that they handle HTTP requests. HTTP is a protocol which is used to send requests for web pages. For example, if you enter the URL, here URL is given, URL of index.html is given, http://www.edupillar.com index.html in your browser. This sends a request to the web server whose domain name is edupillar.com. The server then fetches the page named index.html and sends it back to your browser. Now let us see the services provided by a server. First service, resource sharing. You know what are resources like printers, modems, photocopiers, or some other machines which can be connected to a network. All these come in resources. So we have resource sharing as a service provided by server. Printers, photocopiers, modems, scanners are often designed to connect directly to a network, and all authorized users can share the equipment or that device. A server is responsible for such a resource sharing request. If server is not there, then this request cannot be fulfilled. So it is the responsibility of a server to make that resource available to the whole network. Second, centralized file saving for data sharing. Centralized file saving for data sharing. It means all the network users can store data in a centralized server. So what is the benefit then? Servers help the user save files to their home directories on file server. Workers can load their documents on any networked computer. So this is also one of the services. File saving can be controlled by central computer. Now next is centralized virus scanning. If there is a server which contains antivirus, so that server can scan each and every node of a particular network. So this is one of the benefits. Most file servers run virus scanners constantly to detect and take care of viruses introduced by any user on any computer. Then centralized backup is also one of the facilities which can be made available by the server. File servers take backup of all users' work regularly. So in case of system failure, lost work can be recovered quickly and easily. Next topic is Uniform Resource Locators, URL. You already know what is a URL, but still let us study this topic in detail. Okay, let us see URL in detail. It is the mechanism used by browsers like Google Chrome to retrieve any published resource on the web. Published resource means anything, any information, either in text form or multimedia form like audio or video. If it is there on internet in the form of web pages, that comes in published resource. So URL is used to access these web pages or resources on the web. Full form you already know is a uniform resource locator. For example, http://www.vdjs.co.in. So this is a URL of our school's website. Let us see one example in detail. दिस इज अ यूआरएल, ये एक यूआरएल है, एक एड्रेस है किसी पेज का जो कहीं वेब सर्वर पर पड़ा हुआ है. What is the name of that page? That is list.html. This is your page, list.html. ये पेज कहाँ पर स्टोर्ड है, यानी कि हमें उसका एड्रेस पता लगाना है. इट मीन्स वी नीड URL of this list. So the whole URL is in front of you. http://encycle.msn.com/getinfo/list.html. With this, we get three types of information. Okay, let's come back. So we have three types, three different parts of this URL. First is type of server. So from here we get the information that the type of server is HTTP. Then address of what? Address of server. Address of server is encycle.msn.com. This will be second part. And the path of the file list.html. It is getinfo/list.html. इसका मतलब इस सर्वर में, जिस सर्वर का नाम है encycle.msn.com, इस सर्वर में एक फोल्डर है, फोल्डर को डायरेक्टरी भी कहते हैं, और उस फोल्डर का नाम है getinfo. इस फोल्डर के अंदर list.html नाम की एक फाइल पड़ी हुई. तो we get this information from a URL. Now let us see the elements of URL. So there are three elements of URL. First is the type of server or protocol, the name or address of the server on the internet, and the location or path of the file on the server. वही जो अभी अभी हमने पीछे देखे थे. So URL looks something like this: type:/address/path, where type specifies the type of server in which the file is located, address specifies the address of server, path specifies the location of file on the server. Now there are different types of internet servers. Let us see them one by one. It is also taken from your book. First is FTP server, full form file transfer protocol. This part is very important. Exam में हमेशा आता है, ध्यान रखना. So you have to learn all these. FTP का काम क्या है? It provides information about text and binary files that are organized in a hierarchical structure, much like a family tree. Second is Gopher, GOPHER. It is a protocol called TCP/IP, Transfer Control Protocol / Internet Protocol. Here, text and binary files that are organized in a menu structure is stored. So it provides information of text and binary files, but which are organized not in hierarchical structure, but in menu structure. You know what are menu options. Okay, HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So hypertext or hypermedia, same thing. Files, that is multimedia documents that contain links to images, sounds, or other multimedia documents on the World Wide Web. Mail, Mail is also a server, like Post Office Protocol (POP) version 3 and Simple Mail Transfer Protocol (SMTP). These provide information about messages sent via electronic mail or simply email. The last server is a news server. It uses NNTP protocol or Network News Transfer Protocol. It provides information about news groups that are organized in hierarchical structure. Okay, let us see some common domains. First is COM. If your domain ID is COM, like flipkart.com, it means it is a commercial website and it is used for commercial firms only. If it is EDU, it stands for education. If it is GOV, it stands for government website. If it is MIL, military. Similarly, we have net for those websites which are related to network resources, like for internet service providers or some networks. ORG, usually for non-profit organizations such as NGOs and other no-profit organizations. If a domain contains CO, it stands for company. It is related to some top listed companies only. Then .tv stands for television. It is for television channels and companies related to these television channels. Now we have some country abbreviations on right hand side. See, if you check domains like this, if it is written .au, then the website is from the country Australia. CA for Canada, DK for Denmark, FR for France, IN for India, JP Japan, NZ New Zealand, UK United Kingdom. For example, we are using Zoom, whose website contains .us, www.zoom.us. It means it is from United States. Now, different types of URLs are there. First is absolute URL. These URLs contains both the domain name and directory / page path. This absolute URL provides the full information, complete information of a particular page. Its syntax is protocol protocol colon then / then we have domain name / path. So it gives the complete location information including every detail. These are typed in address bar of a web browser to access web page. For example, www.vdjs.co.in. So there is also one example of a complete or absolute URL. http colon तो ये तो आपका प्रोटोकॉल हो गया /www.sacredheartmathura.com ये आपका डोमेन हो गया या एड्रेस ऑफ डोमेन कुछ भी कह सकते हैं. Then /history.com this can be a page. Second is relative URL. Relative URL means incomplete URL. For example, category/file.html, बस इतना लिखा है। तो इसका क्या मतलब हुआ कि कैटेगरी नाम का कोई फोल्डर होगा, उसमें file.html नाम की एक फाइल होगी, that is stored in currently used URL। जो करंट URL है हमारा, उसी के अंदर category/file.html फाइल पड़ी होगी। तो इसमें हमने यहाँ पूरा पाथ नहीं दिया। So if path is not complete, that is a relative URL. These are URLs with just the path excluding the domain name. Domain name की जरूरत नहीं होती इसमें। I will give you one example also. This category/file.html can also be written like this: slash then category/file.html. These are used as content in web page, for example, image files, PDF files, document files, etc. It tells a URL location in terms of the current location. It is used to refer a given link of a file that exists within the same domain. See this example. Suppose a web developer is setting up a website and links an image called flower.jpg. उसको flower.jpg image web page पर show करनी है। तो if he writes like this, img src is equal to within double quotes flower.jpg, सिर्फ इतना लिखा उसने, it means he is using flower.jpg in the current folder. It would internally be interpreted like this. The browser इसको interpret कैसे करेगा? Dot then slash automatically include कर देगा। Here dot is a special character which means start at the current directory or folder to file a file that follows the slash following the dot. इसका मतलब अगर डॉट लगा दिया तो जो भी करंट डायरेक्टरी है उसके अंदर स्लैश के बाद जो लिखा हुआ है वो ऑब्जेक्ट स्टोर्ड होगा, उसको यूज करना है, पूरा पाथ देने की जरूरत नहीं है। सो दिस इज अ रिलेटिव पाथ। अगर यहाँ पूरा पाथ लिखा होता, फॉर एग्जाम्पल डी ड्राइव डी कॉलन ऐसे होता है, मैं लेट मी शो यू। The full path can be like this: d colon slash abc slash my objects या my pics slash then flower.jpg। अगर ऐसे लिखा होता तो ये था आपका कंप्लीट पाथ। सो इट इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ एब्सोल्यूट पाथ। इट कैन बी अ वेबसाइट आल्सो ना, www या http से शुरू करके colon double slash then www.abc.com something like this। तो ये भी पूरा एब्सोल्यूट पाथ कहलाएगा और एब्सोल्यूट यूआरएल। तो इफ डोमेन नेम इज मिसिंग, इसको अगर हम हटा देते हैं, इट मींस इट बिकम्स रिलेटिव यूआरएल। इसका मतलब जिसमें हम ऑलरेडी काम कर रहे हैं उसी के अंदर ये फाइल है। सो दिस इज योर लास्ट टॉपिक, दैट इज Pick up the file, namely flower.jpg from comma मिस लग गया है यहाँ गलती से, ठीक है, ignore this. Flower.jpg from the current folder where from this web page file is being taken. So with this we have finished today's topic. It was quite easy. I hope you understood well. So for today, thank you.